Ladies and gentlemen, Luke Hulsey. And I already told everybody about your phone problem.
It's not a problem. I can quit anytime I want.
Yeah. How many old smartphones do you have in drawers right now?
I've got a whole drawer full. So I don't count it in phones anymore. I count it in drawers.
Okay. So needless to say, you know a lot about smartphones. And the fun thing for you is setting them up, getting all in there, right?
Yeah, I like a tedious experience.
Okay. Well, that said, would you say that the Google Pixel 3 is a fun and tedious experience?
You know, I like it. I would say the Pixel series is the best Android phone money can buy out there these days, and that really comes down to the software. You know, the Pixel runs pure stock Android, and it gets updates reliably, and it gets them on time. So it'll be supported for, I believe they support each phone for 3 years now with security updates, and usually that includes at least 1 or 2 major operating system updates. Where so the Pixel 3 launches with Android Pie, which is version 9 now.
Okay, I'm not an Android person. I don't know nearly the depth of Android that you do. I know I prefer it over Apple products.
Yeah, generally Android offers a lot more customization. You can change your home screen if you want, customize it with widgets, and things like that Apple just doesn't allow you to do.
Okay, and so for me, the fun is using the phone, and especially the camera. I haven't even turned this on yet, but knowing me, we've been buddies forever, knowing me, would I prefer this to my current phone, the Samsung Galaxy S8?
Ooh, that's a tough call. But the camera on the Pixel is usually the best Android camera out there, and the Pixel 3 especially has a really interesting new feature called Nightlight, and that is where it does some computational photography, which is the big thing this year. So if you're in a really dark setting, candlelit dinner, you know, outside on the street, that sort of thing, it'll take a series of longer exposures around 1/3 of a second each, and then stack those so that you add the exposure together and you get a much brighter photo than you would normally. So you have to be a little bit still to use that feature, but not nearly as still as you would if you just did a single long exposure of like 15 seconds. Instead, you take 5 frames at 1/3 of a second and stack those together, and you get a much better low light picture.
Okay, so needless to say, the camera does some pretty amazing things, but for the layman like myself who are just looking to upgrade, I think I'm probably 2 or 3 iterations behind with my S8 by now, so it's probably time to move on. And I've heard a lot about this. I do use this a lot on my YouTube channel for video, my smartphone that is. It's got some pretty good, it's 4K, obviously, right?
Yep. You can shoot video in 4K, full Ultra HD there.
Okay, and what about slow motion?
Yeah, you can do slow motion at up to 120 frames per second.
All right. And I've heard something about, I forget what it's called, but it does, it's like a selfie mode, and it's not fisheye, but it can get the whole group in. It does some sort of magic in that way.
Yeah, it's got a wide angle selfie mode, and that is really neat as well. You know, it's crazy the number of devices that people used to carry around as separate devices that are now combined into their cell phone. You know, you used to have your Discman,
yep,
you know, and you'd carry a camera around and all these other things, and now all of that is in a single device in your pocket, and that's a pretty crazy thing to think about. One other thing that's new this year for the Pixel is wireless charging. This is the first Pixel to support wireless charging.
Yeah, I have that right here. You can check that out. I'll again, I haven't turned this on yet, but it does some neat little graphics there. Yeah?
Yeah, it supports a nice ambient display mode when it's on the wireless charger there, on Google's wireless charger.
Okay, will this be compatible with other wireless chargers? I don't know how the wireless charger world works, but is it like USB? Is it one thing for all, or?
Well, there's a bit of a wrinkle there. So mostly manufacturers have settled on the Qi wireless charging standard, and that's actually spelled QI.
Okay.
So the trick is, in order to wirelessly charge the Pixel as fast as possible, you need Google's wireless charging stand. And that will give you 10-watt wireless charging. Any other Qi charger will only give you 5-watt wireless charging, so only half as fast.
Okay.
And that is really just a software limitation that Google has decided to implement. They really pulled an Apple there to drive you into their first-party accessories.
Yeah, they all want you to steer clear of other manufacturers. Now, I'm looking on the back here, and it's got this little circle thing here, right there, that little notch. Is that part of the wireless charging right there?
That circle on the back is actually the fingerprint reader.
No.
Yeah, it's called the Pixel Imprint sensor, and it is extremely fast. One of the fastest fingerprint sensors out there.
Now, do you have to do you put your finger on it, or do you have to drag it across?
Just place your finger on there, and it'll instantly unlock.
Oh my goodness!
And the reason they put it on the back is, you'll notice that's kind of where your index finger tends to naturally rest as you're holding the phone.
That's true.
So it's a pretty easy spot to reach. And it doesn't take up any space on the front of the phone, so you can get as much screen as possible on there.
Now, one thing that has got me kind of upset, and I'm sure this is the same with other people of my age, is that there is no headphone jack. Where is the headphone jack? And why is it gone?
Well, officially, it would be so that they can make the phones thinner. The original argument was headphone jack was just too large to squeeze in there anymore. But you know, I've never met anybody that wants a phone that thin. I think everybody would be willing to have a little bit thicker phone and put that headphone jack back. And also, a thicker phone allows for more battery, which is something everybody would always take more of.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, I think I can see the difference between my current phone and the new phone. There is a little bit of a height difference, and I'm guessing that is from either the battery or the headphone jack that they had to squeeze in there.
Yeah, so there is a lot to fit in on the Pixel 3. The Pixel 3 keeps front-facing stereo speakers.
I don't see them. Where are they? Oh,
they are on the top, they're buried in the top and bottom bezel on the front face of the phone. There, you've got stereo speakers.
Oh, wow!
So that's nice.
That is
because
nice.
That your phone is also your boom box or your stereo for a lot of people these days.
Yeah, people will play music from their phone without any sort of external speakers, just from the phone speakers alone. I've heard a lot of good things about that. What about the processing power? And again, this goes to why I should upgrade. You know, if I'm perfectly happy with my Galaxy S8, which I am, I'm perfectly happy with it. I could use a little bit more speed on there, a little bit quicker video processing. How big of a difference will I notice?
It's not nothing. You know, the Pixel 3 and the Pixel 3 XL are both running the Snapdragon 845 processor this year, and that's the latest and greatest. That's what the US version of the Samsung S9 runs, as well as the Note 9. Those are all running the same processor. And that's going to be paired with 4 gigs of RAM and either 64 gigs or 128 gigs of storage.
There's no external, you can't put SD card on here or anything. You get what you get, right?
You get what you get. No micro SD card or removable battery anymore.
And how long till this becomes obsolete from the Google Pixel 4?
Well, it'd be about 11 months and 29 days.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I gotta thank you for your time today. Thank you also, because many people don't know this. Luke here, along with being one of my bestest buddies, if not the best buddy in the whole wide world, he's the one who got me into smartphones in the first place. What was my first smartphone?
It was a Sprint feature phone. It was a flip phone.
Yes, you remember. Well, I have it right here.
Yep.
But this isn't a smartphone. This is what you weaned me off of with my first. I think it was a Galaxy S3. And yes, this still powers up. It's still. I keep it around because I have some old pictures of like a dead dog or something on it, and I think that's what a lot of people do. They won't transfer the pictures or videos. They'll just keep the phone around. That's, I'm guilty of that. I might as well start me a drawer.
Yeah, so another great reason to upgrade to the Pixel. You get unlimited photo storage at full resolution on the Pixel phones.
Oh, cool.
With Google Photos.
Is there anything else that we should know about this particular phone? I know there's a lot of hype, and I was surprised that Google actually sent this to me. Thank you, Google. What for the layman, for people who don't have drawers full of old phones and do this for fun, what would be the appeal other than just getting the latest and greatest thing? What is the draw?
It's a great camera, and it is probably one of the most secure Android phones that you can buy these days. You'll get the monthly security update on day one as soon as it's released, and your whole life is on your phone. You do all your banking on there, email, all your contacts. Your whole life is on your phone these days.
That's true.
So Google has gone to a lot of trouble with the Pixel 3 to make it as secure as possible.
And how easy is it to switch? If I wanted to just switch from one phone to another, is it as easy as switching the SIM card, or what do I have to do to get all of my settings and contacts? What do I have to do?
Yeah, luckily, one of the nice things about Android is everything about your phone is stored inside of your Google account. So, you buy the unlocked Pixel, swap your SIM card over, and sign in with your Google account, and it'll become your phone.
Luke, thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely, anytime.